Hey, welcome to Picks for Sticks. It is Sunday night, the end of the first weekend of the new Major League Baseball season. My name is Michael Driggs. You've tuned in to Picks for Sticks, and I'm your host and chief provocateur of all things baseball and prurient baseball, whatever that might mean, and of sparkling water. You know, I really do know a shit ton about sparkling water, mineral water, your flavored mineral waters. This is a 7-ounce San Pellegrino, not to be confused with a 12-ounce bottle of Perrier. Never get those two confused, never mix them up. And if you ever do, all you have to do is take a sip. And if you have any taste buds whatsoever that are still functional, you will know the difference immediately. So, got a lot to get to. Going to be joined by what is becoming his regular spot on Sunday night, Dr. Doug from the COVID Corner. Going to recap the week of baseball and the week of some other various things we've engaged in and look at the week ahead. So, let's go ahead and bring in Dr. Doug. Let's interview him and see if we can get this show rolling. Here he is. Here's Dr. Doug from the COVID Corner. How are you doing, Doctor?
Phenomenal and improving. How are you doing tonight, Michael?
You know, that's kind of like a Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I teach this in psychology, and like the lowest level is just food and shelter, right? You got to just get you got to have food and shelter, and then at the top level is like self-realization, and there's like
exactly
right, and only like two people in the history of the world have gotten there, like Jesus and Buddha. That's like, and you, Jesus, Buddha, and you're phenomenal and getting even better.
What could I say? It feels right. It just feels right, Michael.
So you joined us last week, and we talked all about how the variants of COVID are worse than the DH. And we know you have no fondness for the DH. So
hate the DH.
So that was a very exciting show. And, you know, Dr. Doug, that set a record, other than the very debut show we ever did. That was the show with the most views.
Well, the controversy.
Right. The controversy.
People either love it or hate it.
Yeah. Well,
the biggest excuse for the DH is, why would you want a pitcher getting paid $37.5 million a year? Batting, he might get hurt. It's like, oh, come on. Why is he even playing baseball?
You know, the thing I probably dislike the very most about baseball, is when the pitcher gets on first base and they take that warm-up jacket and they put on the warm-up jacket. Well, it's not warm-ups. You're not warming up. Get that off. I want to see the player take off their whole shirt because they're serious. A warm-up jacket. I'm just warming up. Well, what the hell is that? It would be like if a boxer is about to fight and they put on the robe. What?
So wrong. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
He's got to keep warm. Well, jump up and down a little bit. The warm-up jacket's the biggest fraud in Major League Baseball. But
it's lined. It's lined very thickly with fleece.
Hilarious. But I do think the first baseman should also have a rosin bag. But that's a different issue. It's a different issue. Tonight, you've joined us to talk about health in baseball. And you have some things you've been really, we talk about these things off the show, and I know you have some stuff you want to talk about regarding health in baseball.
It would be a pleasure. We've been in a pandemic situation, sometimes worse than right now. It's getting better. Things are looking up. We got to be on guard. We can't go all out. We've got to come through. But these last 13 months, the spouse in the house, it's good, but it can sometimes be too good. A lot of trying times could develop. But now my wife, because we're double vaxxed, my wife and I, most of her friends have been double vaxxed. She's got her posse back. She's able to go walking with her friends. I am being left out. So I've got to have something to substitute. What am I substituting? What do you think it is? Could it be baseball?
I
It has to
be
be.
baseball.
And I could ride a spin bike while watching the baseball game. And if I want to listen to a college lecture or a novel on Audible, I could have the sound turned down on the game and do both at the same time and work out. So that's 3 things. That's good. That's independence. So you have any questions?
I have a lot of questions about this, and I want to start from the top. And the first thing, well, is that did you really try to get away with doing a rhyme on here? Did you say spouse in the house? Did you really try to sneak that in?
It just happened. I apologize. It was just an accident.
What are your thoughts on mineral water? Is it
Mineral water? It's nice. There's something called 40,000 volts. You could get it on Amazon.com. You could add it to water or dilute juice. Or when you do Gatorade, I've heard from most doctors and scientists that when Gatorade first came out, it was half as strong as it is today. So they want you to do a 50-50 dilution with water. So you're going to get twice as much for your money. But then I add 40,000 volts, 1 teaspoon, which has everything from boron to all the minerals you need to work out, 0 calories. So I'm going to mineralize my minerals.
I'd rather just directly take the 40,000 volts. Just put it.
It doesn't taste good. I tried that, and it will put you into anaphylactic shock because it tastes like so strong that you have to run to the bathroom and rinse your mouth out. It's like worse than a bar of soap.
Wow, but you can get this right on Amazon.
Amazon.com, 40,000 volts for your viewers, for our viewers, if I may.
Yeah, that's what they should do. So what did you think of the first week? Well, yeah, I want to ask you about the first week of baseball, the first weekend. I know you're a Dodger fan, so how did that play for you? You happy with that?
It worked out great. We saw something that you don't usually see in baseball, and you discussed it in great detail last week, but I think you missed a finer detail. We had a home run turned into a single and an out. You don't see that every day. You describe that, what happened again for us.
Well, Bellinger hit the fly ball. This was on opening day. Hit the fly ball that traveled out of the park. The center fielder tried to catch it. That maybe from Turner's perspective, he couldn't tell what had happened. He'd rounded second. He just stopped and put his head down and ran back to first, but on his way, passing Corey Bellinger.
Well, the one thing I think you might have missed there is, at the end of the year when they won the World Series, he came back on the field.
Yes.
He had tested positive, right, and he couldn't help himself, and he was forgiven. He's a great man. He does a lot for the community. But they say COVID gives you COVID brain. So I'm thinking he was in a fog. Maybe he was affected. So we're gonna have to watch for this as the season develops to see if there's a fog or he's a long hauler. We hope not. He's being paid a lot to be a long hauler.
Read the rules. You should read the rules.
Yeah, the rules are important.
Yes.
So the Dodgers, back to the Dodgers. They had a nice weekend. They won 3 of 4, as I recall, in Colorado, and they had a ton of hits. And today they were leading, I think it was 3-0, and they only had like 1 hit because of all the walks. And then they started producing Adam Smith, who was one of the best top 50 players. He's their backup catcher. And they did 9 of the top 50 active ball players are on the Dodgers, 9 of the top 50, starting with Adam Smith, the backup catcher. So like I say, they're not just a good team, they're incredible. They play well.
If you like the DH, you'd get more at bats. We would have to watch your pitchers hit and put on their warm-up.
Exactly. But the thing I don't care for is the attitude and personality of Trevor Bauer. He reminds me.
Not many people are.
He reminds me of Pedro Guerrero. You know, the Dodgers won the World Series in '88 when they got rid of him that year. They got rid of him and that other guy from the Mets, the center fielder. What was his name? I can't remember. It's been so long. The ones that threw firecrackers at children in the parking lot as they were leaving. You know, it wasn't a good situation.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't belong on that team.
No.
So when you have Trevor Bauer walking off, you know, like this after he has a good inning, you know, of course everybody says Conor McGregor or that other guy that did it before him, but you could just go like roll your shoulders or shake him out. He looks like a jerk.
Yeah, well,
doing that.
You got him. You at least want 10 wins before he has to implode, right? You want 10.
Yeah, the meltdown. I'm hoping for 15, like we were discussing before. The minimum of 10, but 15 would be nice. And then maybe he gets suspended. That'll help a little bit.
Now your Dodgers travel to Oakland tonight. They fly from Colorado to Oakland tonight. They play the A's, and the A's lost all four. They're 0-4, which is good because, you know, the A's at some point this season are going to win 20 in a row.
They've done that. That was a good movie. That was a great movie. Brad Pitt.
Right. No, and it's funny because I was watching the Padres today, and they lost today, and I was rooting for them to go 4-0, not because I was on that game, but now 3-1, that means no matter what their record is, at the deadline, they'll trade at least 12 players. That's what they do.
I think they'll stay calm. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. But I don't think their management and their system is going to be up to what the Dodgers have. It's, you know, one of my friends was an Angel. It was at the Angels game opening night. And he made fun of me on Facebook. He ribbed me a little bit. You know, he goes, "We're undefeated." You know, and I said, well, the game's not quite over. And between now and when the game ends, why don't you count to 162?
Yeah.
A lot of numbers. And he's a mortgage broker. I said, it's only 8 short of a 15-year monthly term on a mortgage. So count to 162.
That's how you have to do it. Really, you have to get there game by game. And the 162, once you hit about 45, 50, 60, and then into the 70s, you're in the dog days of summer. And those are plodding days. Those are the days that separate the champions from the wild card teams.
Yes. Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sir.
I noticed these games that are being postponed due to COVID protocols and abundance of caution. They're being scratched. They're not. It doesn't look like they're going to make those up. Are you aware of how that's going to work in terms of winning percentages and how the rankings will be? We have to look into that, don't we?
Do you know what show you're on? We're only concerned about the games that happen. If it doesn't happen, you can't break it down and handicap it. So scratch it, don't scratch it doesn't mean anything to us. I don't know how they're going to do it. Frankly, we only cap the games that happen. So as long as you don't put up a play and then the game gets scratched, just doesn't have any interest to us.
Okay. I just want to know how it's going to play in the standings.
Yeah, nobody knows that, as far as I know. They aren't really saying it, and there's a chance they won't be scratched, but we're not going to get political on this show, but it's kind of like the All-Star game. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? We know it won't happen in Atlanta, but is it scratched or is it going to be made up? And now, how does that play into?
Yeah, there are a lot of politics in baseball, and we won't discuss them, but we won't render opinions, let's just say. But I heard it was announced that teams can't wear face paint at Indians games. They can't make sounds of the Native Americans. They can wear the logo of the Warrior. I can't remember his name.
Well,
they could wear that, but they're not gonna be allowed in the stadium if they do things like chant, sing out calls, that sort of thing.
But you know my feeling on that. I preferred when men dressed as men and not as Halloween costumes at stadiums. You should wear your sport coat, maybe a tie. You want to wear a hat? It's not a team hat. You should put on a top hat.
Exactly. Traditional. Well, that goes right along with the no DH. It's traditional.
There you go.
That fits right in there. And you know what? The way people stand for a whole game, and they cheer in the playoffs. I remember watching when the Yankees and the Red Sox played, and people were going to get some of my friends were going to get tickets. They got standing room only tickets. And I said to them, well, standing room only tickets, everybody's standing. So what difference does it make? You get standing room only, it's no disadvantage. They stood the whole game. You saw it on TV. They never sat down. The one where they came back from 3 games down against the Yankees, and the Red Sox won 4 straight. The ones played at Fenway, those miracle games that went on for like 5.5 hours, they never sat down. I think people should sit there, watch the game, score the game, discuss the game, and not cheer loudly between plays, before plays. No praying in baseball. What they're praying for is wrong. You don't pray for baseball. God's not going to answer that prayer. That's ridiculous. But this is the way. When I was young, my little league coach and I went to a few games. He'd score the game, and the assistant coach and him would applaud like they were at the theater. They wouldn't even stand if there was a home run. They would just, it was like civilized.
I respect all of that. And I think that's, they're only letting, 20% of the
33 now in California.
33 in California. So I think they'll have an easier time policing that.
Yes.
I think so. That's Hey, Dr. Doug, you want to sign off at the same time as me? I think we did a great show. I'm going to say to those of you who aren't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 25 viewers. I watch these other shows, Doctor, and they say, we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. Not us. We just want to get to 25 because we're an exclusive group of people on a mission for success. And if you really want to be part of the in-group, and since there's only 25 subscribers, we're talking maybe 10 to 12 on the email list. And the email list is picks4sticks, the number 4, picks, STKS, the number 4, sticks @gmail.com. And that's where we send our plays. And that's where you get the real inside information. You get gifts and you get prizes and you get all sorts of paraphernalia, Picks for Sticks paraphernalia, maybe even a bonus 40,000 volt packet of some insane substance that you just add to mineral water or gatorade.
Exactly.
Who knows what might be in your pack? So subscribe, join us on the email list, and now we've seen the teams play for a weekend. This baseball season is rolling, even if games are being scratched or rescheduled or whatever's happening to them. So, Doug, we'll see you again soon.
Okay, quality fans for a quality show. That's what we want.
That's right. Have a good night, my friend.
You too. Have a nice night.
Bye.
Now.